Hello everybody, this is Coach Eby, and welcome to Relaxed and Fast, where each Wednesday we dive into a wide variety of topics to help you become a better runner and person, where we try to give you a behind-the-scenes look into our program, our philosophies, and more specifics on how we develop our student athletes, and give you ideas on how to grow your routines and improve as a runner and a person. We appreciate you listening in and hope you enjoy this episode. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Relaxed and Fast. We're going to stay with the model of our preseason PowerPoints, and today we're going to talk about the goals session. So some of the stuff we kind of already talked a little bit about during the mental fitness section, and so hopefully we'll be able to kind of breeze through some of this stuff, but all right, so on to our goal setting session. Big part of this and something that we talk to the team about is really just enjoying the process, enjoying the people that you're with, enjoying the workouts, enjoying the miles, enjoying the travel, enjoying competing. Not everything is going to go perfectly, but do the best that you can each and every day. Ultimately, I think that's a huge part of this is that the things that you find joy in are the things that you're going to be a little bit more successful in. And it can't always just be about the outcome. It needs to be about the process. So that's a huge part of this. And sometimes it's hard to remember that in the midst of the chase, but it really is the people and the workouts and the miles and the traveling and all that kind of in the meets that you're going to think back and remember 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now. So expectations versus reality. Everybody comes in August. They think it's just going to be smooth sailing all the way through. That is very rarely the case. And even when things are pretty smooth and things are clicking and things are going well, the reality is that there's still a lot of messy parts to it. And so having that realistic expectation of that it is going to be messy and it's not going to be perfect, and you kind of got to not get too high with the highs, not get too low with the lows, try to keep as even keel as you can and just keep trudging away, being as consistent as you can and doing the things you need to do. All right, so mistakes in goal setting. Too big, too many. Not specific and not written. Not specific and not written down are two of my biggest pet peeves. We'll go through some mistakes that some of our athletes have made in the past, but yeah. So specific, measurable, attainable, relative, and time-bound are some things to think about. So another piece to this is especially when you're on a team, is knowing and understanding what your role is, where you fit on the team, being able to play your role. Not everybody can be the number one runner. Not everybody can be an All-American. But if the team needs you to be the best number 4 runner of anybody in the conference or region or nation, then and that's your role, then you need to take a lot of pride in that and really get after it and try to beat those matchups that you have. All right, so in terms of individual goal setting, making sure that you have short, medium, and long-term goals, and then obviously trying to set up a plan to achieve those goals. So thinking about weaknesses and how to improve them, but also thinking about your strengths too, and how you can continue to improve on those as well. All right, so vision goal, product goal, process goal. Once again, we talked about the product goal and the process goal a little bit in the mental fitness one, but the vision goal is kind of the ultimate goals. They are the accumulation of what you want to accomplish and how you want to accomplish it. When identifying your ultimate goal, imagine being able to look into the future and witness your retirement dinner or Hall of Fame dinner. What accomplishments do you want to hang on the wall? What would you like the speaker to say about you and regarding to how you played the game or how you ran the races, how you conducted yourself. So that's the ultimate vision goal, is like, what would get you into the Hall of Fame at your institution, or what would you be really proud of when you at some point in time have to hang up the racing flats. And so the product goals are results-oriented goals. They're clearly measurable, usually most effective when they are emphasized accomplishments within the next 12 months. I have found that the best formula is to assign yourself up to 3 product goals for the next competitive season in which you will participate. Again, up to 3 product goals for the upcoming season. For an example, a basketball player might have the following 3 product goals. This is all from 10-Minute Toughness, which is one of my favorite mental fitness books. I think it has, part of the reason why I like it a lot is that it has a defined workout that you can do every day, but the goal setting is a big part of the book. And so I would highly suggest the 10-Minute Toughness. But score at least 10 points per game, have a free throw percentage of 80% or better, grab at least 6 rebounds per game. And so then the process goals are what it takes to achieve the product goals. So process goals also must be specific enough to be measurable. For example, the same basketball player may believe that 2 of the best ways for her to score 10 points per game are by being mentally prepared for each game and by aggressively driving to the hoop within 5 feet at least 4 times per game. Being mentally prepared is tricky to measure. However, the basketball player could substitute, I want to complete my mental workout every day prior to practicing games. Doing the mental workout consistently will certainly contribute to her being mentally prepared. Each completed mental workout is a valid measure of mental preparedness. Similarly, by defining the aggressive drive to the hoop as a drive that gets her within 5 feet of the basket, makes this goal readily measurable. Bit of a tongue tie twister there. All right. So we talked about this in the mental fitness one, but the paradox of the product goal is the more you think about your product goals in competition, the further you are from achieving them. A simple guideline is to use product goals before and after practice and competitions, and then use your process goals during practice and competitions. And so this is the example of the pitcher, 10 pitches where he was thinking about having a 3.5 ERA. Did he place the ball down in the strike zone where he wanted it? And that was only 3 out of 10 times. And then the next 10 pitches, thought weight back, arm on top just prior to pitching. And for that set, he was able to command 6 out of 10. And then eventually got to 8 out of 10. And so just thinking through what is the best way to go about doing this. And so that's when we get into the mental cues and things that you can give yourself during the race. So once again, back to the mental fitness part. All right, so this is the goal sheet that we use. It's a straight rip off of the 10-Minute Toughness goal sheet. What are the 4 greatest priorities in my life? List your vision goals. So what do you want to talk about at your Hall of Fame speech? The desired date of that accomplishment, and then the reward for that accomplishment. So each of these sections has a reward. The reward can be a large reward. It can be a small reward. But kind of like Pavlov's dog, giving yourself a reward for accomplishing something can be very, very important to the process. Every time you get a reward, it can just be a sticker in your journal. You feel more accomplished, kind of like giving yourself a pat on the back or somebody complimenting you on something. It's the same principle. And so then we go down to list 1 product goal and 3 process goals needed to achieve that vision goal. And so the product goal, once again, being specific and measurable, and then the process goal, how to get there, being specific and measurable. And then the product goal plus 20 would be something that was above and beyond. And so some examples, good and bad, that we've had from our team. And so academic, career success, happiness, increased strength, working on myself. This individual had runs sub 24 or faster for the 6K by the end of senior year, and then a shopping spree was the reward. The product goal was get faster as time progresses. That is not a specific goal. That is a very vague goal. And so push and put in work throughout tough workouts. Once again, a very vague goal. And so get faster as time progresses, setting some time goals throughout the season that you want to try to hit. And then the process would be, instead of push and put in the work throughout the tough workouts, I want to hit my goal times assigned to me by coach 90% of the time or 100% of the time or whatever it happens to be. Understanding my body and knowing my limit each week. And so once again, not a super specific goal. And so maybe setting some more specific goals on how many days a week you would be cross training, how many days a week you would be running, try to run every workout, but listening to my body and cross training if need be, something along those lines would be a little bit better. And then the plus 20 goal that they have on there is don't fall asleep without practicing my breathing each night, 10 to 15 minutes. And so that is definitely a measurable goal. And so that would be something that would be above and beyond. And then getting to go out to dinner with teammates. I think for some of the goals, you also want to do something that would be more of a reward and something that you wouldn't just naturally do anyways. And so making sure that you have that down there as well. And so those are some examples off of the first one. No injuries, so I'm kind of skipping down. Have a healthy season is not once again, not a vision goal. Don't burn out mid-season like last year. Maintain mileage around 50 to 60. Don't build less than 5 miles a week. Cross-train extra mileage if not feeling very good. And so once again, this is one that needed a little bit of work on here. Stay healthy, don't give up, study 1 hour a day at least. That's at least measurable, but the don't give up, do every run, do every lift. I guess those are measurable and that can be somewhat specific. I think you can get a little bit better than that, but just a few examples on here. Eat better. Choose healthier foods, be conscious of what I'm eating, make sure. So once again, just trying to get a little bit more specific on a handful of these. So that was kind of my goal with this, was to try to show them some examples of things that weren't super specific and talk about how we can get a little bit better. And then the follow-up is once you have these goals, it's really easy to just kind of have the goals sitting in a folder, which I do at my desk at work, but trying to review those goals and going over them, trying to make them part of your daily training routine, trying to review them once a month, and with who are you going to review them with, having them posted up so that you're constantly looking at them. I actually have a copy of my goals. I do the goal sheet. And it's next to my desk over here. I have another one at work as well. So and then talking about team goals, culture goals, who are we, who do we want to become, and how are we going to get there? Really like this Dave Smith quote. So there's some coaches that talk about just strictly not talking about big goals and just working the process and all that kind of stuff, which I do think working on the process is really, really important. But I think publicly posting your goals and talking about it, I really like what he has to say here. It puts pressure on us, but life is pressure. Athletics is practice for life. You need to figure out how to handle pressure, how to handle stress, how to manage others' expectations, and how to balance your own. So I think finding a way to kind of walk that tightrope can be really important. I just really like this quote and what he had to say uh, about that. So some of our stuff from last year, kind of where we placed 2 years ago. And so haven't updated this, but will here pretty soon. Having goals for each meet. So every meet is not the same. What we're trying to do at OACs and regionals is not the same as what we're trying to do at Worcester. Our conference meet is at Otterbein, so we're going to go check that out. And so what we are trying to get accomplished there the first time is not going to be the same as what we're trying to get accomplished there the second time. And so, even for adult runners, having some sort of a season going into a peak race is important, and knowing and understanding what you're trying to get out of each of the events that you're going to, and having goals for each of those. And then we start to get into Urban Meyer for it's always tough when you might not see eye to eye on some of their personal things that they do, but some of the things that he did at Ohio State that I did like is he had the philosophy of 20-60-20 or 10-80-10. And so they had a gold group, a scarlet group, a gray group, and a navy group. And essentially they divided their team out into those groups, and the gold group got priority on lifting times and lockers and parking spaces and all of the above. They even got special gear. They had a dinner at the end of each week or month or whatever it was, even might have been at the end of the season, where the Navy group had to serve the gold group steak dinners, and then the Navy group went and ate hot dogs. And so really parsing things out and making it different. And one of the things that Urban's assistant coach talked about, that he was a former BW guy, was that they were trying to get that bottom section of the team to quit. They didn't want those guys around. They only wanted the people that truly wanted to be there and were trying to go towards the goal of winning a national championship. And so Stephen Covey talks about we're trying to just get better. We're just doing the drills to make coaches happy. The real problem is this posturing is often the norm. Most athletes don't take full advantage of the power of goals. And so in his book, The Eighth Habit, only 37% of individuals have a clear understanding of what their team is trying to achieve and why they're trying to achieve it. 20% are enthusiastic about the organization's goals. Covey's findings indicate that only 4 of 11 members of a basketball team know the team's keys for success, and only 2 of those 11 really care about it. And those numbers include the coaches. And so, the really high achieving teams, I think, tend to have their bell curve skewed towards the top 20%. And trying to find a way to do that. And so once again, kind of knowing and understanding your role, knowing and understanding what the team goals are, knowing and understanding why you're there is really, really important. So what are the big goals for this season? What are the big goals for the next 3 seasons? And where do we want to see the program go? And so then lastly is going out and executing it. I think a big piece to the whole goal setting thing is that you set the product goal, of being a conference championship team, and then you figure out the process goal. What does it take to get you there? And then you essentially take that product goal, throw it out the window, and just work on the process goals. What is it really going to take to get there? And those are the things that you need to focus on each and every day. And those are the things that you need to go out and execute on a daily basis. And so, that is the quick and dirty version of our goal setting and kind of how we set up our goal setting. If you're interested, I can send you some of the goal setting sheets that we use. Feel free to email me at jeb@bw.edu. I would be more than willing to send that out. And if you have questions, feel free to add those in the comments. But yeah, hopefully you found this helpful. This has been good for me. I've been going through and adding some information on to get ready for team camp, because we are exactly 1 month away. It is July 15th today, and we move in on August 15th. So it's kind of exciting to think about that. But once again, really appreciate everybody for listening, and look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you guys so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the podcast on goal setting. Love going through these slides, love hearing about them personally, and we hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, make sure to leave us a like on YouTube, 5 stars, show us some love on any platform you're listening to, and you can listen to us on almost every platform out there. So make sure you show some love, leave a comment. We really appreciate going through the comments and stuff, guys. So if you would like to, leave a comment. Always much appreciated. If you want to see some reels and more fun posts and keep up to date in the day-to-day, you can look at our Instagram, relaxedandfast.pod, and you can see all that there. But we hope you guys have a good day, and we will see you guys in the next episode.